The Eucharist itself is a sacrifice? In part 1, I showed how Paul describes the Eucharist as the table of the Lord, the same expression the book of Malachi 1:12 uses to describe Israel's sacrificial altar. In part 2, I explained that this is no coincidence. Paul begins 1 Corinthians with an allusion to the same prophecy. The Eucharist, it seems, is that which Malachi describes. The prophet speaks of how in every place incense will be offered to my name and a pure offering, Malachi 1:11. This is sort of odd. According to Deuteronomy, sacrificial offerings can only be made in one place, the central sanctuary, which came to be understood as the Jerusalem temple. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3, Paul isn't contradicting this in a way. Paul says that the church is a temple. In 1 Corinthians 3, Paul writes, "Do you not know that you are the temple of God and that the Spirit of God dwells in you?" Now, the you there is plural, like in English, y'all. Paul's not simply saying that each individual believer is a temple, though he will make that point later in the letter. Here, Paul is saying that the church as a whole, y'all, are God's temple. Now, I don't think this is because Paul rejects the Jerusalem temple as somehow invalid. I explained that in my book, The Historical Jesus and the Temple. In fact, the book of Acts doesn't think that Paul rejects the temple as invalid. It presents Paul as going up to Jerusalem and participating in the temple worship there. See Acts 21. But this does help us think about the Eucharistic imagery in Paul's letter. Paul applies temple imagery to the church and the sacrificial imagery to the church's Eucharistic celebration. But now, doesn't all this contradict the idea that Jesus' death is the one sacrifice for sin? Well, not really. Part 4 coming up.